Hi and welcome back. So if you follow the channel, you'll know that every 3 months, as a precautionary measure, I have a blood test taken. This covers markers such as blood sugar, lipid levels, kidney function, liver function, EGFR, etc. And two tests that I believe are very important, especially for men as we age, are the hormones, estrogen and testosterone. I will cover both of these in this video, but I'm mainly going to focus on my testosterone levels and why I believe they are consistently high. So what is the normal range of testosterone for an 18-year-old male? The average of these three is between 288 nanograms per deciliter and 1,107 nanograms per deciliter. And there are links in the description below to these three sources. There are other sites that give different levels, but in general, the average is between 300 and 1,000. With general agreement that anyone who has less than 300 nanograms per deciliter is classed as having low T and is therefore a candidate for testosterone replacement therapy, also known as TRT. Let's now look at testosterone measurements and the different types. Testosterone is split into three separate types. The first is sex hormone binding globulin, also known as SHBG. Around 60 to 70% of testosterone in the blood is bound to SHBG. This bound testosterone is biologically inactive as long as it remains bound to SHBG. Then we have albumin-bound testosterone. Approximately 30 to 40% of testosterone is weakly bound to albumin, a protein that's found in the blood. This fraction is considered bioavailable because it can dislocate easily from albumin and then become active. Finally, we have free testosterone. About 1 to 2% of testosterone circulates in the bloodstream unbound, and this is biologically active, meaning it can easily enter the cells and then exert its physiological effects. These averages are pretty consistent, so measuring total testosterone allows you to estimate how much free T you have circulating in your system. As you may know, like NAD, testosterone declines with age. When men enter their mid-30s, they will start to see it declining by at least 1% per year. The average male who reaches 70 years of age will have testosterone production that's around 30% lower than it was at its peak. My last testosterone score was 688 nanograms per deciliter, and in November of 2021 it was 913. Both these scores are above the normal range for someone in my age group, but well within the range for an 18-year-old, and still well below the upper range of 1,000. Now, one of the reasons that older men may have high T when not on TRT could be testicular cancer. So when mine was 913, I did get a check, and thankfully the doctor said it was all clear. The last time I had my total and free T tested together, my total T was 586.74 and my free T was 25.52. That's around 4.35%, which is great because the average is normally around 2%. I'm assuming as my total T has gone up this time, also my free T has gone up too. But why is my current T level so high for a 60-year-old? Well, there's a number of factors that come into play. The first being body weight. Excess body fat, especially visceral fat, that's the fat that's stored around your internal organs, is associated with having lower testosterone levels. Adipose tissue, that's our fat cells, contain an enzyme called aromatase. This converts testosterone into estrogen. Higher levels of body fat leads to an increased activity of aromatase. This then results in lower testosterone and higher estrogen levels. Also, obesity, particularly abdominal obesity, is closely linked to insulin resistance. Insulin resistance can then lead to metabolic syndrome, which is also associated with having low testosterone levels. Next, there's sleep. Testosterone levels naturally rise during sleep, especially during the REM, that's a rapid eye movement phase. The highest levels are typically observed early in the morning hours. If you're a subscriber to the channel, you'll know that I post my sleep scores on a very regular basis in the community tab. This latest one shows my REM sleep at 1 hour 46 minutes, which is 22% of my overall sleep for that night. Also, longer sleep durations are also associated with higher testosterone levels. A full night's sleep allows the body to complete multiple sleep cycles. These cycles are essential for optimal hormone production. You can see here that I achieved 4 complete sleep cycles. The body's circadian rhythm, which is the natural 24-hour cycle of physical, mental and behavioural changes, plays a crucial role in our hormone regulation. Disruption to this rhythm, such as irregular sleep schedules or shift work, can negatively impact our testosterone production. Now that I've retired, I'm consistently in bed between 9:30 and 10, and I wake somewhere between 5:30 and 6 a.m. in the morning. These sleep metrics may be one reason that my T levels are higher than the average. Another factor that affects testosterone production is diet. Diets rich in healthy saturated fats, such as those that come from coconut oil, butter and animal fats, have been associated with higher testosterone levels. These fats are essential for the production of cholesterol, and this is a precursor to testosterone. Again, if you watch the channel regularly, you'll know that my diet is high in animal fats. We cook in olive oil and butter, and I also eat a lot of eggs, somewhere between 4 and 6 pretty much every day. Some plant-based foods, particularly soy and certain legumes, contain phytoestrogens, which are a plant compound that can mimic estrogen inside the body. Excessive intake of phytoestrogens may impact hormone balance in some individuals. Then we've got exercise. Resistance training, especially heavy lifting and high intensity workouts, can boost our testosterone levels. Exercises that involve large muscle groups such as squats, deadlifts, bench presses, etc. are particularly effective. I weight train on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and I try to incorporate as many compound type lifts as possible. Testosterone levels typically spike after a resistance workout and then return to baseline within about a few hours. So if I remember, I may train at the hotel before my next blood test to see if it does actually change anything. Also hit high intensity interval training, which involves short bursts of intense exercise, which is then followed by rest or low intensity periods. This type of exercise can increase testosterone levels more effectively than steady state cardio. Another key point is that excessive exercise without adequate rest and recovery can lead to overtraining syndrome, which is also associated with decreased testosterone level and increased cortisol levels, and that's a stress hormone. But what about my supplements? Well, I do take vitamin D, 5,000 international units a day, 10,000 2 days of the week. And here in the Philippines, I do get regular sunlight exposure. My last vitamin D test had my level at 89.05, which is well above the top end of the sufficient range, which is 80. As you may know, vitamin D is not a vitamin, it's actually a hormone and is involved in numerous physiological processes, including the regulation of calcium and phosphate metabolism, immune function, and also cell growth. It also has a role in the endocrine system, which regulates hormones, including testosterone. David Sinclair did once postulate that using an NAD precursor to raise your NAD levels may result in higher testosterone levels too, because NAD is needed to build testosterone. I do take 1.5 grams of NMN per day to boost my NAD levels. I do now also take a supplement called DIM. You may remember that I first had my estrogen levels checked in June of 2022 and they were high, they were above the reference range. So after some research, I started a supplement with DIM, DIM. I now take 600 milligrams per day, split into 3 200 milligram doses. After 3 months on DIM, it dropped to 30.8 and it's been as low as 9.86. The minimum acceptable level is 7.63. DIM is also known for its role in modulating estrogen metabolism. It promotes the conversion of estrogen into less potent forms, which can reduce overall estrogen activity in the body. By helping to balance estrogen levels, DIM may indirectly support higher levels of testosterone. When estrogen levels are high, they can lead to increased production of SHBG, which binds to testosterone and reduces its bioavailability. By lowering estrogen levels, DIM can potentially decrease SHBG and increase free testosterone. This is the DIM supplement that I currently take. And when I travel, DIM, along with Metformin, NMN, TMG and vitamin D are the 5 that I always take with me. So if you're in your 40s or maybe above and you've been feeling a little sluggish lately and started to put on weight around your waist, I would speak to a medical professional, and regardless of their advice, also have a testosterone and an estrogen test. That test is known as estradiol. If your testosterone is very low, you may be a candidate for TRT. If it's just low or you want it higher, maybe look into adding some healthy animal fats into your diet. Focus on a consistent bedtime, try to get more than 7 hours sleep a night, and look into ways of improving your REM sleep. For that, you may need to buy a fitness tracker or some other kind of measuring device. Also, maybe start lifting weights and look at supplementing with vitamin D and DIM and possibly NMN also. A small caveat to the information in this video is that if you do research recommended testosterone levels for men and search for specific levels related to specific age groups, there are going to be varied results. There doesn't appear to be a globally recognized standard for T levels in men of certain ages. But if you do test your T levels, please let me know in the comments below what age you are, and also let me know what your T score was too.